In this study skills lesson, we're going to talk about some strategies for when you're actually taking a test. Now, if you'll recall, taking a math test is different from taking tests in other subjects. Math tests not only require you to recall information, but apply it as well. And that's where I think it really differs from other subjects. If you're studying for a history exam or another subject where you're actually memorizing information, that's different than math, because when you're learning math, you have to learn how to work out the problem, solve the problem, apply what you have learned. Math tests build on each other, requiring students to know and recall material from previous units. And that's what always is hard when students don't get off to a good start, because the information is going to build. So if you miss something at the beginning of the semester, that's going to cause you to struggle throughout the rest of the semester. Most math tests have time limits. Students need a plan to take a math test. Students need to practice their math test before taking the test. And we've kind of already talked about that when we talked about how to study. When you study for a math test, like I said, you need to practice problems until you can work them efficiently, meaning within a timely manner, and independently, without having to look anything up. If you're working to get ready for a math test and you're having to look things up, ask for help, or use an app, then there's no way you're ready for the actual test. Now, when you actually get to the math test, here's some things that you can do to help you. So a lot of times when we study, we have what we call a memory data dump. And that's for those things that you memorize, maybe formulas, maybe sayings, maybe rules, things like that. That's going to be your data dump. And that's the thing, when you first get your test, we have you write those things down. We have students who they come in, they've memorized their formulas, they've memorized some rules, they memorized some things, and as soon as they get their test, they flip it over and write all those things down so that they can refer them throughout the test. And so that's a really good thing to do. Number 2, preview your test. Put your name on your test and scan the test to determine the number of questions, their level of difficulty, and the point value so you can adequately gauge how much time you have to spend on each question. Put a mark by the questions that you can do without thinking. And so I always tell students, do what is easiest for you first. So go through the test, preview it, and what is ever easiest for you, get that done first, and that's going to allow you time to work on those harder things. Do a second memory data dump. The second memory data dump is for writing down material that was jarred from your memory while previewing the test. Write this information on the back of the test. So as you preview the test, if other things come to you, turn your test back over and write those things down. Develop a test progress schedule. When you begin setting up a test schedule, determine the point values for each question. You might have some questions that are worth more points than others. Like a video game, you must decide the best way to get the most points in the least amount of time. Decide how many problems should be solved by halfway through the test. You should have more than half of the problems completed by that time. And what this is really meaning to develop a test progress schedule, I don't think this is something you should stress about, but what I do think you should really prioritize is making sure you know how much time you have to complete the test, and making sure that when that time is halfway over, that you are halfway through the test. You have to pace yourself. We will have students who will spend forever trying to figure out one problem, and then they don't leave themselves enough time to work the other problems that they actually know how to do. So if there's something you come across that you're struggling with, you need to skip it and come back to it after you've done everything you know how to do. And that is the next point. Complete the difficult problems you know how to do. Oh, sorry, number 6. Sorry, I really skipped ahead of myself. Number 5, clearly write down each step of the process of solving. Sometimes instructors do give partial credit, and so by writing down every step, you're giving yourself a chance to get that partial credit. So I would definitely recommend don't skip steps in your work. Try to work out all of the steps, show your work. That way, even if you don't get the correct answer, you might be eligible for some partial credit. And then, like I've been saying, answer the easiest problems first. Do the problems that do not stress you out, that you feel are easy. Get all of those done first. And that's going to get you those points for those. And that's going to also help you with your time management. Number 7, complete the difficult problems you know how to do. So, these are the problems that do take more steps, but you do know how to do them. And so on number 7, you want to complete the difficult problems that you know how to do. And then on number 8, the ones that are absolutely toughest for you, then you'll tackle those last. So work the easiest problems first, then the problems that are more difficult but that you know how to do next, and then go to the hardest problems on the test. Anything that's left after that you don't know how to do, go ahead and guess. It is so much better to guess than to leave something blank. Leaving something blank gives you absolutely no chance. And then number 10, review your test. Look for careless errors. Sometimes, people lose points because, they left off a negative or, just things like that. So make sure that you review the test. And then use all of your allotted time. It is not good to fly through the test, finish the test, turn it in when there's 30 minutes left. Use your allotted time because you can check your answers. You can spend more time maybe on those problems that you're not so sure how to do, which is so much better than turning it in blank. Okay. Students who turn their test in first are not guaranteed an A or a B, nor students who turn their test in last are guaranteed a D or an F. In fact, the opposite is sometimes true. So don't think just because people are getting up and turning in their test that they're, already complete. Don't judge what's going on around you. Everyone works at a different pace. So just focus on, what you are doing. And if you're in an online class, use your allotted time as well. A lot of online classes are going to use a proctoring service that are going to video you, and it's going to cut off when your time is over, but you just need to pay attention to how much time you have left. Always just pay attention and watch your time. All right, if you will answer these thought questions in your discussion post.